Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, July 15th. I'm super excited about our call this morning with Sarah. It's Summit Week, which is so weird to me because it's like one of my favorite weeks of the whole entire year. And it's so different, especially with me. Like, am I going to go into labor today? Nope. Maybe tomorrow. Let's do 300 squats while eating a spicy meatball sandwich. It's just so different. And for those of you who were there last year and our memories that have been coming up on Facebook, I've been loving seeing your guys' pictures, but it makes me so sad.
It made me cry.
Oh, it makes me so sad because it really is like the most incredible experience. And you can't even put words to it. So happy Summit Week. I just wanted to make sure that everyone who wanted to be in the Diamond Push with Keith Callahan requested to join, paid the money, and you have to answer the questions. If you haven't been approved yet, there's so many, like hundreds. There was 800 pending requests as of a couple days ago, which means there's like 1,000 people that have paid $20. So I'll leave it to the teachers to do the math on that one. But
I saw, I think yesterday in the group that the prize pot is at like $16,000 or something like that. It's insane.
That's amazing. That is it's 18. Holy moly, 18,400 now.
They updated it because I thought it was 16 too, and I went back and looked at that post, and they had updated it to 18,400, and I was like, oh.
I mean, that's something to work for, right?
Yeah. Get your piece.
Something to get a little uncomfortable for. I mean, a lot of us go to jobs that we hate for a paycheck. So, I mean, this is a little motivation. Wow, that's so exciting. I don't think that my request has even been approved yet. So, hang tight, but do make sure. When I clicked on it yesterday, my request wasn't pending. So, I don't know what happened with mine, so I redid it. I would just encourage you, if you haven't been accepted yet, just to make sure. So that's exciting. It's Summit Week. Pay attention to your app and the calendar of events and where things are happening. Hopefully all of you know that there's special workouts every day on Beachbody On Demand for Summit, which is really cool. Ideally, if I was in a different headspace, I would have organized like a fun team workout together. So if any of you want to do that, feel free to like do one of the Summit workouts and just post a Zoom link or whatever. But anyways, that is the majority of the announcements, other than I just wanted to remind you guys that Mbf Challenge Pack. I hope everybody knows at this point how insanely valuable it is. To reach out to your Beachbody On Demand subscribers who are going to have an expired subscription or who just renewed. Pay attention to the subscription part in your back office. I want to touch on this just in case people don't know, but when someone has ordered Beachbody On Demand in the last 30 days, if they cancel it effective immediately, they get a full refund, and then you can set them up with the challenge pack. And it's way cheaper for them, and they get the total solution. Especially, does anyone have questions about that? Let me open up the chat really quick. Yeah, so Felisa, it's under subscriptions. For me, it's a little bit harder because I have like over 1,000 people to like look through. But if you guys have a like newer or smaller organization, you could even go under customer orders or coach orders in the last 30 days. And that's one way to do it as well. And just look through like who's on a 3-month Beachbody On Demand subscription, or even a 6-month Beachbody On Demand subscription, or who just ordered. Under subscriptions, it will tell you who's coming up as well. So yeah, and that's an easy way to get more Success Club points, and you're serving your people, because Mbf Challenge Pack comes with Portion Fix, Ultimate Portion Fix, and 2B Mindset, which is just such an incredible deal. So it's a huge reason to reach out to your people. And I'm pretty sure, correct me if someone has seen something different, completion packs include that as well. So if you have people who only have Beachbody On Demand or only wanted to try Beachbody On Demand, that's a whole nother group of people to reach out to and say, hey, genuinely from the bottom of our hearts, we can say, holy crap, you have to try this. Like if you're wanting, you told me these are your goals. I know you've tried Beachbody On Demand, but I have to be honest with you, this is an incredible opportunity for you to get serious results in the next 12 weeks. And because that's not salesy. That's like, holy crap, like it's unheard of that people could get this. So anyways, yeah, correct Nikki, but not the accessory pack. Okay. Any questions about that before I turn it over to Sarah? Okay, cool. So I'm super excited for Sarah to share with us today because she has this like incredible brain that I've never experienced myself in my own capacity of systems and goal setting. And I love that she will send me pictures of her whiteboard of all the goals and like the broken down steps. I'm like, that is so pretty. Like, that's amazing. Yes, go for it. So I'm really excited for her to share with us today what she has to share and her kind of systems and really setting our goals for Summit 2021. It is one of the most powerful parts of Summit. It's like our new year. It's like our Beachbody New Year. It's like January again. And I'm so sad. Like please tune into all the videos because you're going to be so inspired. I remember it was last year, the year before, and as Ali Tessitore had shared how she went from 1 star to 15 star in 1 year. And I was like, oh, that's a thing? Oh, well, why is that not my goal? You know, like it just makes you start realizing like, oh, I'm making this way more difficult than it should be. Like I'm way too in my head. And so I'm really excited for Sarah to share with us like some goal setting strategies and making those happen. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Sarah, it is all you.
Okay, thank you so much. You guys, I'm so excited to talk about this because I am such a like serious for real nerd about strategic planning and goal setting. And the reason it's so important for me, just to like a really quick like snippet of my background and why this is so important for me. So I came from the corporate world and I worked for, I forget how many years, 10 plus years in corporate jobs that I hated and where I was working insane hours and really unhappy with our lifestyle. And I was always being told, I know it's tough right now, but it's going to get better. I know it's tough right now, but it's going to get better. I know it's tough right now, but it's going to get better. And so by just living not intentionally, by just doing what the people around me were telling me to do, I ended up in a place where I really did not want to be and in a lifestyle that I really did not want. And the fact of it is that in those positions, I wasn't working for my dreams and the life that I wanted to create. I was working for someone else's. And I was always being promised, okay, well, next year you're going to get to take a real vacation. Like next year you might be able to, these kinds of things. And I saw this business opportunity for what it was. I realized that this was an incredible chance for me to create a life that I wanted and a business that I wanted, but we have to be really intentional with that too. If we're being, I didn't want to accidentally create a business that I didn't love, if you know what I mean. And this shows up when we start to feel burnt out, when we start to feel, stuck in our business. It's because we aren't in love with our business. And so this process is what I've come up with and really been refining as I've been coaching over the last 3-4 years. I don't even remember how long, to intentionally create a business that is going to take me where I want to go with my life and be the vehicle that gets our family to where we want to be as far as time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, and all these things. And as for each of us, that's going to look different. Sorry, I'm looking over here because my notes are over here. I get nervous and then everything flies out of my head. So I have notes. So what we want to create is going to look different for everyone. And that is one of the difficult things in this business, is that you have to stay focused on where you want to go, the business you want to create, and what's going to get you there, what brings you joy, what's going to create that lifestyle and that freedom that you want. It's the most beautiful thing about this business model, but also sometimes the most challenging, and sometimes we get overwhelmed or we get distracted. And so this strategic plan, as I call it, my freedom plan. So in my 4 years as a coach, I've noticed, I think it's 4, I don't remember. I've noticed a few things that have held me back from moving my business forward, and that have held other coaches back and even caused them to quit. And so this strategic plan is meant to address those things. So number one is not treating my business like a business, as far as hours worked, but just also as far as having that CEO big picture mindset of where I'm going and how I'm going to get there and how I want to build this business. And number two is not knowing where I want to go, not having a clear vision of what I want to create with this business. And then number three is not really knowing how I'm going to get there. And then thereby not believing that I can actually get there. I might have this big vision, but I don't see how I get from where I am now to where I want to go. And those three things have held me back and caused me to sabotage myself over and over in this business. And that's why I'm so excited to be able to walk you through this process that takes care of all that. So number one, we have to, I'm going to go quickly through this process. You guys, you won't be able to sit down and like do each of these steps. I would love to do like a workshop together. But there's not enough time in this call to do that. So I'm going to go through, and then I want to encourage you to go back and watch the recording and pause and do each one of the steps as we're going through it. So first things first, we have to start with our vision. There's this scene in the movie Alice in Wonderland where Alice is lost in the like whatever woods, and she meets the Cheshire Cat, and she asks the Cheshire Cat, which way should I go from here? And the Cheshire Cat asked her, well, where do you want to go? And she says, well, I don't really know. And he said, well, then it doesn't matter where you go or which way you go. Does that make sense? I totally butchered that quote, but look it up. If we don't know where we're going, how do we know what to do next? So the vision is going to be that far off destination that keeps us kind of aligned with our values and where we want to end up. Start with your vision. Probably everybody on this call has already sat down and thought through their vision, but if you haven't, take some time to sit down and think about where you want to be in 5 years. Where do you want to live? How do you want to live? What do you want your life to be like? How many hours do you want to be working each week? How much money do you want to be making? Do you want to be able to quit your job and stay home with your kids? Do you want to be able to retire your husband? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be more confident? Do you want to be stronger? Do you want to be a better leader? Do you want to be an amazing mom who is able to be present with their kids? Think about those things. And there are tons of calls on this and people who are amazing at walking through this. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but make sure that you are crystal clear on your vision. In fact, there was a call not too long ago where somebody recommended recording your vision and then listening to it every single day. So keeping that vision close in front of mind, in front of you every single day is really important too. Record it, listen to it. Moira Kusaba, she's one of my favorite, like super successful coaches. She reads her vision every morning. So whichever one, Brittany Leggett, thanks guys. Whichever one you do, keep that vision front of mind. So write it out and keep it front of mind. Get really clear on where you want to ultimately end up, because that's going to guide how you develop your business. If you want to be able to travel with your family, that's going to guide how you develop your business. You know, it just, all these things are going to help you set your goals and make sure that your goals are aligned with where you want to go. So get clear on where you want to go. And then we're going to start setting mile markers. So this is the piece that bridges where we are, from where we are to where we want to go. And we're going to start with 1 year. So 1 year from now, what do you want to achieve that's going to get you closer to your vision? So like Jessica said, Summit is like New Year's for our business. And I like to take this time to think about, where do I want to be by next Summit? Hopefully we're there in person. Hopefully all of you are there, because I would love to be hanging out with you guys and going out and watching Nikki dance. Because you know I can't. But where do you want to be by Summit 2021? It needs to be a measurable goal or goals. And it could be rank, it could be income, it could be anything like that. But as we are watching Summit, as we are going through Summit and you're seeing people being recognized, think about where you want to be a year from now when we're back at Summit, and think about how that aligns with your vision, where you want to go, and why it matters to you. And we all know from, we're all coaches. We all know the importance of knowing our why. So keep that in mind too. Write that down with your goals. For me, why does being a premier coach?
They did good on this one.
At Summit. So.
That's a post workout. That's like BCA.
Hey, Holly. Oh, there she is. So for me, for Summit 2021, why does being a premier coach matter to me? It matters to me because it's a stepping stone along my path to get to where I want to ultimately be with my vision, right? So that's kind of the first step. 2021. Let's see, let me break this down. 2021 is our 12-year goals. And then we're going to break that down into quarterly goals. So there's 4 quarters in a year. And this year we have Q3, Q4, and then we have Q1 and 2, and then we'll be at Summit again. So take those measurable goals. This is why they have to be measurable, and break them down into quarters. They could be, again, rank goals. They could be income goals. And then start thinking about what you need to do each quarter and each month to be able to make those goals happen. So for example, how many new coaches do you need to bring on? How many new customers do you need to bring on? How many SC points do you need to get? And start mapping it out. So at that point, you guys, it's just math. And it's pretty easy to do. So for me, for Premier Coach, my goal, this is not my 1-year goal, this is my 6-month goal. So in order to be a Premier Coach at Summit for 2021 next year, I have to be Premier by the end of this. So that is a 6-month goal. So what I did is I took the qualifications for Premier, I've looked at what they are, and I started breaking them down from Q3, which is the quarter that we're in now, and Q4, which is the end of this year, and started splitting them up. And then from there, I like to do this for the next 6 months. So right now, I have my quarterly goals for the next year, right? And then for the next 6 months, I have my monthly goals mapped out. So July, August, September, that's Q3. What kind of SC numbers do you need to hit each month? I was looking at the leadership points. That's where I'm weak for Premier. How do I gain leadership points? What do I need to put into place to start helping my team grow so that we can get these leadership points? What kind of opportunities do we have coming up that we can leverage? And this is going to be huge. So as you're mapping out your monthly goals for the next 6 months, also write down what opportunities we have coming up that you can leverage. And these are going to be the announcements at Summit. Okay. So these are going to be the new programs that are launching, the new products that are coming out. just the different seasonal fluctuations that happen, you know, kind of taking those things into account and mapping those things out and figuring out, okay, what can I leverage to get there? What obstacles do we have? Do you have? Do I have that might hold me back from reaching my goals? Is it lack of confidence? Is it poor leadership skills? Is it somewhat shaky speaking skills like mine? Or, you know, what is it? What areas do we need to grow in to be able to get to where we want to go? And so then from those obstacles, then you start to map out your PD. You start to map out your training. You start to map out what you're going to focus on. And I would recommend focusing on one area a month so that you don't get bogged down. So you're still doing the daily actions that you need to do to grow your business while also growing yourself and developing yourself. So PD is a great option if you are looking to grow in leadership, if you are looking to grow in confidence or anything like that. If you're looking to grow hard skills, maybe you want to learn email marketing. Maybe you want to learn how to create a funnel. Maybe you want to create a better tracking system. What is the choking point for your business right now that's causing you the most struggle in your business? Maybe you want to get better at social media marketing, you know, anything like that. Pick those areas and start plugging them into your month. All right. So what's your biggest struggle? That's going to be what you're going to focus on for, you know, maybe August, because we're already pretty much halfway through July. If that's social media marketing, you are going to learn social media marketing and master that skill for August. And then when August comes, whatever you've learned and whatever you have mastered in social media marketing, that's where you're moving forward from. And you stop and you move on to the next one. Maybe you need to create a better tracking system. Maybe you need to really nail down a good power hour or a good time management strategy for yourself. So do you see how these kind of like systematically start addressing these areas where we struggle? Keeps you from getting overwhelmed, because my brain gets overwhelmed and I start not taking action because I'm like, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to do this. So this brings focus. So bring your calendar, start writing these things down, and start reverse engineering your goals. So for example, I don't have my goal sheet with me. I have my notes. Let me go to July really quick. Sorry, guys. Okay, so for July, write down your top 3 goals for the month. I have a Success Club goal, I have a rank goal, and I have a strategic focus goal, which is the ones that I was talking about where like maybe I'm focusing on my power hours. Maybe I'm focusing on, you know, my tracking system, some area where I'm improving my business. And those are my 3 monthly goals. And then I map out on a calendar for each month all of the business launches, all of the like summits in there, the quarterly Super Saturday, Super Weekend, all those events that we can start marketing to, Liz's coach sneak peek calls, things like that, my coach sneak peek, all mapped out so that I can then get clear, okay, what am I focusing on marketing? What am I focusing on inviting to? Have all that planned out ahead of time so that you have some idea when you sit down to work what your focus is. And then from there, I break that down into weekly goals. And I have my top 3 monthly goals right on my monthly page. And then I have my top 3 weekly goals, and that's my focus. And from there, I start shifting to action-oriented, process-oriented goals. So this week, I'm going to send out 50 invites to coaching, something like that. That's going to move me towards my monthly goal of bringing on 5 new coaches, for example. This week, I'm going to do a power hour every single day. This week, I'm going to, you know, whatever those top 3 things are going to be that are aligned with your monthly goal, which is aligned with your quarterly goal, which is aligned with your yearly goal, which is aligned with your vision, right? So everything is in alignment. And that's when it gets exciting. That's when it gets fun, because you know that this thing that you're doing right now, even though maybe it's not your favorite task, is in alignment and moving you towards your vision, right? From there, it's simply a matter of time blocking for me and figuring out how you're going to get it in your schedule. There's different approaches. Jessica rocks the early morning. That works for a lot of people. I prefer to do more of a power hour type of time blocking thing and stick my kids in front of the TV. But it's simply a matter of getting it into your schedule and then sticking to the schedule. And that's where time management is really critical. And that's has been one of my biggest struggles, but I am working on that. The Sloth app that Felisa shared, I think it was you that shared that, super helpful. Where was I going with this? Oh, okay. So now we have our weekly strategy, and I got a house cleaner. Yes, I did. That was one of the obstacles that I identified that was holding me back, was just being spread way too thin and way too scatterbrained to be able to focus and accomplish anything. And really, I want my kids to be in school, but they are not going to be, they're not in school right now. And so I had to get creative about what can I take off my plate? Anything I can take off my plate. That's what I was looking for. So get creative with your solutions to these obstacles. So then from there, you guys, you have it mapped out. You have your long-term vision. You have your annual goals, your yearly goal. You have your quarterly goals. You have your monthly goals. You have your weekly goals and your weekly goals and action items. Action items are key. And then it's a matter of executing, evaluating, and adjusting. So this is one of the key things that clicked for me. Before, always when I set a goal, if I missed it, I would beat myself up. I would be like, man, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not good enough for this. But then I thought back to my corporate world and to their, businesses have a business plan. They have a vision document. They have a mission statement. They have annual action plans, quarterly and monthly action items. And if they missed those things, if the engineering company that I worked for, if they missed something, they don't say, oh, I guess this business isn't for us, so we're just going to close our doors, right? No, they get creative and they problem solve and they sit down and they come up with a solution and they adjust and they move forward. So these are not goals where we beat ourselves up if we don't hit them. We adjust, we move forward, we learn something from our failures, we fail forward, and then we keep going. So I reevaluate and readjust these goals. Everything is in pencil on my, monthly, quarterly, 6-month, 1-year goals. Everything's in pencil. So I can adjust and change things as I go. So I am adjusting and refocusing and reevaluating, if that makes sense. Okay, I feel like it just flew through that in like no time at all, but hopefully that kind of helps you guys. One of my action items that is not for July is to create a worksheet and a workbook for this that I can give out to my coaches and to you guys, a template that we can use. And, but it didn't happen for this call. But what questions do you guys have? What are your struggles? What holds you back in this process?
I thought that was amazing. Would you mind showing us just on the camera what your notebook looks like, or that you were looking through?
Yeah, so actually I use Moira's Rise Up Journal Planner, and it has, in the beginning, one of my dreams for those of you who are on this call is to be able to buy one of these for every single one of my coaches. Because in the beginning, it walks you through this vision setting process, this goal setting. It's a little lengthy. It's a lot of time in her book, but you don't have to spend that much time. So you do this vision exercise, and then you set your quarterly goals and all of those things. But let me show you July, for example.
Okay. I'm so glad you're doing this, Sarah, because I was going to buy that, but they don't, on the website, they don't have the stuff on there. You can't see it.
Oh, yeah. So this is monthly. So month 3, July. It has areas you need. So biggest accomplishments from last month, areas I need to improve. And then I love this, you guys, monthly goals and intentions. So I don't just do this crazy, like, intentional strategy goal setting for my business. I also do it for my health and fitness. I do it for my relationships, for my finances, like all of these things. So it has all of that in there. Monthly goal setting, personal development to business development. I'm committed to things like that. And then, so here's my July spread calendar where things are marked out. I don't have a ton of detail on here because most of my detail is in, let's see, there's tons of great stuff in here too, you guys, that I'm skipping over as far as like a weekly to-do list. This wasn't supposed to be an ad for Moira's journal, but it is really cool. You can write your monthly enrollments in here. I have been trying to do it online, so I haven't been doing that. Business goals is invites and new team members and all of that. Customer hot list, business hot list. Again, I'm trying to do that digitally, so I haven't put them in here. But then this is where it sort of comes down to like brass tacks, where I time block my week. I have in here my top 3 yearly goals, my top 3 monthly goals, my top 3 weekly goals, and then important meetings and events are in there. Let's see. There's a bit of a marketing plan down here, so you can talk about what you're focused on, or focused on what you want to talk about. I just totally mixed up that sentence in my head. And then there's this area where you can evaluate down here your wins and losses. So it really walks you through the whole thing. It is, like I said, it's a bit long. I prefer to do some of these things more digitally instead of having them, written down. But I think that's it. Yeah.
I have a question for you. Well, I don't know, anybody on here, you asked what your struggles are.
Mm-hmm.
So I love everything that you said. I wrote all of it down, and I can't wait to sit down and do it, to write the goals and all that stuff. And I agree with everything you said. It's amazing. My biggest struggle, because I've been kind of paying attention to myself this month, I have been intentional a lot of the time this month so far on, my power hour, the income producing activities. But I am finding my biggest struggle, and if anybody has any tips on this, I would love it. I am a people person, a social person, an extrovert. The only time I'm an introvert is when I'm overwhelmed with other people's emotions. Or introvert that's the only time. So I'm finding I get kind of down because I'm not working with anyone, because whenever I have to sit down by myself to do something, I get in my head, or get kind of, there's no energy. There's no, it's just kind of like, like sometimes that's good. But like, I feel like for me, I like to be energized when I'm inviting and when I'm, that kind of thing. And I know we do power hours, sometimes, but it doesn't always work out for everybody to do them together. But any suggestions or tips on that part of it, that aspect of it, would be extremely helpful.
Yeah, I will say I am the opposite, and I am a major introvert, and I like to work alone because I focus better that way. But I was actually going to say just the same thing that Celicia said. Maybe try to go sit outside of a coffee shop if you can.
They're closed. Isn't everything closed again?
The indoor seating is closed. So if you have a coffee shop anywhere nearby that has a great patio, go there.
Okay.
And
that's what I used to do.
Yeah. And I think it'll be easier if we can plan ahead for our power hours. I've been like pretty off the cuff with them, and it makes it hard for people to be there, or if they don't know about it ahead of time. So if we were to plan out more power hours a little farther in advance, I think that it would be easier for people to be on. But it is a really challenging time because at the same time, it's hard for me to imagine what my kids are going to do and control what my kids are going to do. So that is a bit of a challenge. But I would encourage you to get creative. Do you have any local team members nearby, Felisa? You're
So
muted.
right now for my team, it's kind of, I don't have like, I have a couple of coaches that are local, or well, one's kind of local and one is definitely local, but she's like so super busy. It's kind of insane how busy she is. But yeah, I could start maybe trying to do that, because I do find that I get a lot of energy from that. And like the random text, that I get from my coaches saying that, they're loving everything, but I feed off of other people's energy. And I think that that's where, like, I'm getting in my head with this COVID stuff. Like I have found myself getting down, and I'm like, why am I down? My business is going great. Like, I'm on a great team. I have you guys surrounding me. And so that it does make it harder for me to find that, because I don't know about you guys, but how I'm feeling in that moment is how I come across in text. When you're messaging someone and trying to invite, or even when you're writing your social media. Like last night I sat down to write one and I really wanted to write from the heart, and I was like, I didn't have it in me. Mm-hmm. So I just did, like the more basic one. It still worked, but so that's why I was asking. I mean, I love what you wrote and I'm going to follow that, but I want to follow it with energy.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't know if anybody had any tips.
One of the best tips that I have implemented lately that has really helped me was, music is a good one. Really being intentional with my social media time. And that means not having very much of it. So the more I'm on social media, the harder it is for me to show up the way that I want to and the way that I need to. And I was thinking about that, and I don't want to stick my head in the sand, but I have a responsibility to show up for my coaches and for my clients and for my family as my best self. And I can't do that if I am constantly scrolling my social media. So I noticed that if I scroll social media before I post, I probably will not post, because I get into such a negative headspace that I feel like I don't have anything good to say. And so those are some tips, like what's sucking your energy, try and try and cut that off. If it's kids, it's a little harder.
You can't really cut them off.
Dang it.
I think that's so powerful, Sarah, because I was going to say too, I mean, you guys know me, I'm extremely extrovert, and I also thrive off of other people, but you all have probably noticed too, because I get messages from people, especially everyone thinks I'm in labor because I'm not on social media as much. But I was feeling that same way, Felicia, and I think this is where we collectively and we as individuals, where that skill of learning to identify a problem and then find a solution to it is so key for us to learn. And it's so key for us to teach to our customers, whether or not they're coaches, but to customers, right? When people are struggling, sticking to their nutrition, or when they're struggling with their confidence, or when they're struggling with opinions or whatever, is really like, Sarah, I love what you shared, Sarah, because it's like, social media is really taking away my energy. I was talking with Liz about this, because we're like, we are a social media based business for the most part. Most people are. How do we show up in such a toxic world right now? And sometimes I think it takes experimenting. So like yesterday, I feel like this is probably same for everybody. When you share a post or do a video or serve people in a way where you get messages back that say, thank you so much, you have no idea how much this helped me. What does that do to our emotions? Like, oh my gosh, like I did something productive today when people really need it. And that's one of the things that I found. Like yesterday I did a live video, and it had really very few, like, seeds were dropped about how our business helps me. And it wasn't just a marketing scheme. It was like, this is what I do when life's really hard, because it's been really hard. And I've had so many private messages of people, my dad just died. My daughter is in the hospital. I am a breast cancer survivor and just had a huge lump found in under my armpit, and I'm terrified, but thank you so much for being a light right now. And so I found that is what reinvigorates me to where I know I'm being part of a solution. And I think for all of us, when we feel stuck, when we're trying to force through, Sarah, it's kind of like what you were telling me in your Marco Polo, like when we try to like force fitness on people, when we know they need something a little bit deeper that we have potential to help them with on a whole nother level, it's something that like shifts with connecting with people. And Felisa, this is something that you're even going to talk with us about, right? The authenticity of connection and identifying that that's what people need right now. And they're going to want to be a part of what we're doing. They're going to want to be a part of your challenge groups when we can find how each of us can plug into what people need right now. There's something so fulfilling and reinvigorating about that when we are, all of us are like so surrounded with, I totally feel you, like toxic, horrible stuff right now. So I don't know if that helps at all, but that's because I've been in the same struggle bus and that doesn't happen to me. Like that's new for me in the last however many years. So I think that's really important, staying really true to what you need and then finding a way to make that happen. And maybe Felisa, that's you saying, I'm going to do a power, like Sarah was saying, schedule power hours and share them with the team, share them in the Difference Maker movement page. There's hundreds of coaches in there, and then plug in together. And you never know, I'm sure so many other people need what you need as well right now. And what if this is the time that you're called to step up as a leader and provide that for other people who don't really know that they can do that either? So those kinds of things are things that have helped me that maybe can.
No, yeah, I appreciate it. And you're so right. I did a story. Apparently I'm known for my walk and talks because I do my stories when I walk. So that's kind of what I'm calling them now. But I did one the other day about, just that, yes, this is where we're at. We don't want to be here. Nobody wants to be here, but let's do what we can to be positive, find the positive or whatever. I don't remember even what it was about. I just talk when I walk. So, but I had gotten a comment from someone in my inbox saying the same thing, that, we need more people like you in the world. And, thank you for being so positive and being a light and everything. And so those do actually truly do help. But you are right. And Sarah, you're right too. I think we need to, or I do. That's one thing maybe I'm struggling because maybe I need to be the one stepping up and saying, okay, I'll be honest, I have not wanted to set times for power hours for everybody because I didn't want to be accountable to that. Not to do a power hour, but to be accountable for that time. Not gonna lie. Because even though we're home all the time, I feel like life is still so crazy. And then I'm like, but what if at that moment, I know this is going to sound really bad, but what if at that moment, I don't want to do it? Like, what if in that moment, my energy level is like, but you know what? Maybe my energy level would be better if I was just doing it. So that's definitely something I'm going to consider. Thank you guys.
I would suggest try it for a week and see how it goes. Or 2.
100%, because that's where, so I'm trying to look through who's on this call right now, but so many of you became coaches just for your accountability and your own health journey, right? And this is one thing I noticed about myself, and I was typing it, I figured I'd just share it, but when we create opportunities where we have to show up, that's where we grow. When it was just like 4 years ago when I started doing team calls and nobody showed up, and I still recorded it and I still talked because I wanted to create, like I had to show up. And I totally know what you're saying, Felisa, 100%, especially when we get guest speakers from other teams, because I always have to speak on their team call and they're always in the evenings and they're always hard for me. But I know that if I create the opportunity where I have to show up and give something to somebody, every single time I grow from it. Every single time I'm stronger, I'm more confident. And that's something collectively in our business, whether it's a power hour or it's, this is why I'm horrible at Zoom workouts, like saying, hey, let's everybody show up at 6 a.m. Like Nikki's amazing at that. But right now I know that, it's hard, but when you do that, it creates, you do show up differently, and then you're really excited to tell people, like, I'm showing up every day at this time, or I'm showing up 3 times a week to work my business. Let me teach you how I do it. And it just shifts something where you're actually taking ownership over your business, and you realize this is the freedom that we have to do this however we want. And there's something that really does shift when you create opportunities where you have to show up. So I think you should totally go for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can I have a couple
go.
other things, Jessica, that I had forgotten to say. So bringing this whole thing that we've been talking about back around to Summit. First of all, I just saw, you guys, all of the workshops that we do at Summit typically. I didn't think that those were happening this year, but they're doing a bunch of them in the Beachbody Champions page. It's Unit 10. If you go to Unit 10, they actually started them on Monday, and they're all in there in the units. So go check those out. But you're going to learn so much, and there's going to be so much information, and it's going to be overwhelming. And this is where you pencil them into your strategic plan. You say, hey, I really love what she did with her, this process or this aspect of her business. I'm going to focus on implementing that in September, so you don't get bogged down, and you don't get stuck with all of the overwhelm. So I wanted to add that because I had forgotten.
That's so important. I'm so glad you said that, because I didn't even know that. I was the same with you. I was like, well, this is weird. I think that's so great. And creating a resource page for yourself, like on a Google Drive, on a Google Doc. But if there's an Instagram training and you want to go back to, go and create a Google Doc, Summit resources or business resources, and say Instagram training, here's the link so I can go back to do it. Or what an invite training, here's the link so I can go back and do it. And then, like Sarah was saying, schedule that into your time blocking, goodness. And you're like, I'm working for this time and I'm learning for this time, working for this time, learning for this time. And it really does help you be productive, because then you're actually seeing your work and you're seeing what you're doing. Go ahead, Felisa.
One thing, does everybody know, and I'm sure most of you do, but talking about saving. So I save videos for later, and you can actually title them. So on Facebook, so if you go in, you could actually say Summit Trainings and go and save the videos under Summit Trainings. And you can have different categories on Facebook that you can actually just go, okay, I want to do a Summit training. Just a thought, especially if you're on the fly and you want to just do it really quickly. I've noticed if you're out and about, that's a good thing to do, because I've started doing that. And so I have that set aside for different things, so for Summit trainings or for our trainings or something like that. So
that's a good idea. And saving them might help. It'll help you find them easier in case they take them down or move them or something.
Anyone else have any questions for Sarah? Oh, go ahead, Salisha.
Okay, this has nothing to do with the topic we were talking about, but thank you, Sarah. That was really helpful, and honestly, something that I really need to start doing is breaking down things more, because I get totally overwhelmed too with to-do lists. But the question I have is regarding a coach that I just signed up at the beginning of the month. I went to change her to my other leg because she reached out to me. She used to do my hair, and she's like, oh, I did Beachbody a while back and I want to get back into it. Can you help me? My sister wants to sign up under me. So I was like, oh, perfect. I need somebody who wants to work the biz. So I've forgotten to put her on my right leg because I have another coach I wanted to build on my left leg. And then when I went to move her onto my right leg, she just signed up her husband last night too. but I filled out the genealogy request form and it denied it. And then it said that in my email, it said that she had quit in the last 6 months or something like that. Like, I guess she was, which I don't really know about all that stuff, like how all that stuff works. So I don't know.
Have you asked her yet?
I haven't yet, because I just found out last night and it was really late when I read the email. So.
Yeah, that really sucks when that happens. And it's not caught when it first happens. It's usually caught down the road when compliance doesn't audit. But if she had a coach account with somebody else in the last 6 months, then she can't sign up as a coach again with you until that 6 months has passed.
Okay.
So this is where, like Felicia
So
had
I'm
to do this, where you have to sign up as a
okay.
customer. Sorry, my headphones are delayed. Go ahead and say it again.
I was just saying, I'm just like stressed now for her because I know she just signed up her husband under her. So I don't know what the heck is going to happen. Like, I don't know how to.
So ask her, that's where I would start, is ask her how long ago it was that she canceled, and then with the previous coach, and then ask, you can also ask coach relations. I don't know how long the wait is right now, because I know it's been insane with everything going on. But you can ask them, hey, I just had a new coach sign up. She didn't tell me that she had a coach account before. How long ago was it that she canceled her account? Like, when would those 6 months be up? That way you have something to work with. Because sometimes if it's within like a shorter amount of time, sometimes they'll grant a request or grant a, what's the word? They'll like say it's okay. Goodness gracious. But yeah, permission, that works. They'll like say, yeah. But if she would have had to wait another month or so, then they won't allow it. So, I would get on that as soon as possible, just because if that is the situation, she'll want to cancel her husband's coach account immediately. That way he's not under the same issues and rules, and yeah, I would just go from there, but keep me posted if you need any help with that. So in that situation, if she can sign up as your customer without waiting. It's just the coach membership. And just so everybody knows that if you have a coach membership, you have 5 days to change your coach, 5 business days to change your coach, or 5 days to change their placement on your legs. That's it. And then once after that 5 days, on the 6th business day, if you cancel, you have to wait a whole nother 6 months to sign up with a different coach. You can sign up with the same coach at any time, but to sign up with a different coach, you have to wait 6 months. You can sign up with a customer with anyone and change your coach as many times as you want. There's no restrictions on that. Is that helpful?
Okay, thanks. Yeah. I'm like, I have no idea what to do now. And she just signed up for her husband and wanted to sign up for her sister. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, of course too, because I'm like one other person away from being diamond, and she had to, it's frustrating.
I know. And this is hard because there's different ways kind of that you could go around it, but if she wants to build a business, has any potential of wanting to build a business, it's just worth it to wait this full 6 months. You'll have to talk to her and ask her when she had her coach account last.
Okay.
When it was canceled. Yeah, and Nikki's right. Nikki had said too, make sure that she signs up as a customer with the challenge pack. And basically what compliance will do is they'll just remove her coach account, but she'll keep her challenge pack that she bought. That won't change. She'll still get like success club points and stuff, but I know it's super frustrating. Super.
All right, I'll see what she says, like when she canceled and all that. So, all right, thanks, Jess.
Of course. Any other questions, guys? Anything?
Well, I don't have a question, but I know that we all love you so much, Jessica, and I just wanted to give you, like, everybody unmute and like celebrate that she got the CEO award. Woo!
Oh my God.
Didn't
Good job.
you got another award too, didn't you? Like 3
Yes.
of them.
She did.
Yeah, it
He
was
was
kind of
blowing
like,
it up.
you're not supposed to put me on the spot.
Yes. Way to go,
Yes,
James.
I am.
And I'm not sorry about it. Right?
Sorry about it. And if I make your face
Thank
turn
you.
red, which I think we
You
kind of did.
You totally kind of did. Like the Indians coming. I have like a 10% of Indian from my Mexicanness, and you totally just brought it up.
I brought it out.
Yay.
Welcome. I'm red just talking. Like I get red just talking. So now you're red.
Me too.
Thank you. And congrats to you on the Rising Star Award. Yeah. And to Felisa
Thank
for
you.
giving her shout out for being a new Diamond.
Yes, Diamond. I haven't even been able to tell you that, Felicia. I think I texted in a Facebook group, but good job.
So awesome. I love it. And all of us are going to be walking across the stage together next year. Somewhere.
Yes. Get your
Hopefully not
outfits. Figure that out. Get ready to go
Okay.
dancing.
Oh my
Whatever
gosh.
the
I wish.
That's some fitness motivation too, right? So we can get ready to wear those.
Right?
Yeah.
I would say if
I
you're
wish-
doing MBF, don't buy an outfit yet because it's like crazy. That's crazy. It's a crazy program.
My thighs have gotten bigger since I started MBF, and it's only been a week. Like shorts that I was wearing a week and a half ago, I put on the other day, and I was like, why are they so tight? I'm like,
Oh.
thanks.
How about Megan's like shoulders? Like when she lifts her arms, I'm like, oh, like those are like crazy strong women.
Oh my gosh. I freaking love that program. It's really good.
Stop it.
I love it. I just love you guys. Also,
Do you want to say
wish
hi?
Dee could make our calls. I wish Dee could make our calls because the day when I could see Dee and Nikki dancing together, like I have never in my life met anyone who dances like Dee. In my kitchen for my I'm gonna stop the recording.